Hello. Thank you for joining me for this transmission. So, I just got off of a call with a client and we were talking about our 3-month journey together and all of her big takeaways and what she's grown into and what she's really taking with her as she proceeds on her journey. And a big one that came through was starting. A lot of the times we feel like we need to prepare so much, right? We're like always getting ready to get ready, and then we don't actually do the thing. Even just hitting record and starting to allow your channel to open is a transformational experience. Like every time you allow yourself to be seen on camera, every time you just hit record, every time you share what's actually on your heart, right? From a space of wanting to share with other people the medicine that you're extracting from your own journey, you are transformed in the process. So you are transforming others through your courage to go through transformational experiences, especially one where you are broadcasting your essence and sharing the medicine that's on your heart. And another big piece was and is the experience of how relationships really shape us. When we're in relationships and things go south, it can feel really devastating. It can be really devastating, especially when we think that this is our person, right? And like this is the person that we are going to spend our lives with. Something that I really want to speak into is someone can be the love of your life, and it can be the love of your life for that iteration of your life or that period of your life. It might not be your forever person. And each one of these partners that comes into our life is a mirror reflection of exactly what we need to work on in order to be the woman, the person that is a vibrational match to that forever partner and to that dharma that we came here, we incarnated here to live out, to leave the legacy of love as, right? To lead as. So it's all here to serve us. It is all like these ingredients in our alchemical cauldron of what we're growing into and how we can learn from each one of these experiences. So I feel very called to speak into the experience of relationship, the two coming together, becoming one, essentially, in a lot of ways. The key piece is maintaining your sovereignty within a relationship, but no matter what, you're merging. Your particles are merging with the other person's particles. You're becoming quantumly entangled. So when we go through a breakup, a separation, uncoupling, whatever you want to call it, we are literally uncoupling our particles from what it's been entangled into for however long we were with that person. And because it's on a spectrum of such a multi-dimensional experience, we don't like these particles that could have been weaving in past lives and could be weaving in parallel lifetimes, right? So that's why sometimes it can feel so hard to disentangle. And it can feel so catastrophic to our nervous system when it doesn't work out, right? And when we're ignoring those signs that are very blatantly there. People call them the red flags, but it's an intuitive knowing. It's a feeling that this is not serving my highest potential, that I could be expanding so far beyond this. A lot of the times we want to put a forever label on things, right? We want it to be this infinite thing because it's become familiar. And a lot of the times the familiarity, the feeling of home that we get with that particular person is mirroring the familiarity and the home feeling of our environment as we were growing up. So we retract whatever it is that we need to bring up those unhealed parts and those childhood parts to heal, to integrate them. So no matter where you are in your journey, you're going to attract that which you are needing to serve your expansion, to serve your healing. And if you look at this from a quantum level, you're also healing your lineage, you're healing and you're healing for the generations to come. So it really is a big deal to allow yourself to lean into what is here to serve you through these relationships. Relationships are the catalyst for our greatest healing and expansion. There's only so much that we can see on our own. And I'm also a huge advocate for, solitude. And for those of you on this spiritual journey, like the solitude, there's so much medicine that comes from that solitude. So much medicine that comes from leaning into the yearning to be with another partner, right? Leaning into that yearning as the desire to be at one, to be one again, to be with source. Which when we're in a partnership, in a union, we are one again. We are two entities coming into oneness again through the transcendence of the lovemaking, of the connection, of the communion, right? It's a union. And it is so important to know when that union is not actually serving you anymore. When it's not serving the expanded version of yourself that your heart and soul are yearning to grow into. If you are going through a breakup or you are still experiencing these waves of longing and miss for that person, firstly, I want to invite you to honor that that's a real experience. A lot of people want to just prod you to let it go and to move on. And yes, this is part of the process of letting go and moving on. A lot of the times people just want to jump into something right away or numb and escape the devastation. But what happens is then we keep creating that experience for ourselves until we get the lesson. So we might as well just lean in and really digest it and integrate it and get the lesson as soon as we can. Or else the pattern is going to keep repeating, just with different characters, with different mirrors, with different people. It's going to be the same texture of energy. It's going to be the same lesson disguised as different experiences and relationships. Something that just came through after coming on my last relationship was recognizing where my inner masculine, I'm going to keep this on you. So like, never know where to share my experience, then also like help you weave this into your experience. I mean, I guess it all weaves, but where this person, if you're a woman, where this person was reflecting back to you where your inner masculine wants to develop, where he wants to mature. And a lot of the times you can see this by looking at the ways in which you wished he would mature, the ways in which you wish he would be in his king energy, the ways in which you wish he showed up for you, right? And chose you and claimed you, whatever it is, the way you wish he, whatever, fill in the blank, right? What did you wish that he would have done for you, with you, right? And now look at your own inner masculine and ask where he's not showing up for you in that way. Because until you really work with your inner masculine and start to develop and mature him and initiate him into his kinghood, until you do that, you're going to see that wounding reflected back to you in the men that you're attracting. So the goal is to really use this relationship as data, right? Of course, there's the emotional aspect that's woven into that. And I feel that that's its own alchemy and initiation process in and of itself, right? And I actually created a whole course about that called Broken Open with a dear sister who was also going through major heartbreak initiation at the same time as me. And we created this course called Broken Open, which gives you a bunch of different modules and rituals and transmissions on how to alchemize that energy while you're in it. Because, you can't really intellectualize that process. It's like a soul retrieval. So if you're going through heartbreak and you are wanting, that extra support and guidance, then Broken Open is an incredible course, and I'll link that at the bottom here as well. But looking at that relationship as something that was really an important catalyst for your expansion, it is here to serve your expansion, and looking at the ways in which it is here to serve you. That is what makes you an alchemist. That is what makes you a miracle worker, is you are willingly shifting your perception, right? And also asking source, the divine, to help you see it through God's eyes, to help you see it through love's eyes, to shift your perception of the experience so that you can become empowered by it and extract the gold from it, and also have full ownership in your participation in this dance that happened between the two of you. So if we look at masculine and feminine energetics, the masculine is this unchanging consciousness, right? The masculine energy, these are energetics that every single person has within them. The masculine and the feminine, it is not gender specific. So if we look at masculine energy is the container, right? It's the unchanging consciousness that holds the feminine, and the feminine is life. She is movement. She is that which unfolds and expands within the container. So the relationship also is a container. And a lot of the times, if one person especially is doing a lot of inner work and is on this path of ascension, you are going to need a container that is continually evolving with you so that it can hold the space for what you're growing into. And ideally, it would be an expansive container, one that is continually expanding and evolving. Looking at the masculine is this safe pillar, is a pillar of consciousness and containment, right? And the feminine is love. The feminine is love, and she is also emotion and feeling and movement and life, right? So ideally, we cultivate that inner union with the masculine containment and structure and leadership, because the masculine is also the leader, right? We want the masculine to lead us in a way that allows us to fully surrender in our feminine. Most women want a man who's going to take her deeper than she can take herself, that's going to hold a container and a space for her to fully surrender and know herself as love and experience God moving through her and witnessing her through her masculine partner. The feminine really does come online and get activated by being witnessed into form. So we first get to do this for ourselves. We get to witness ourselves come into form through learning to express ourselves with ourselves and giving ourselves the permission and the safe space to go there by cultivating that inner masculine king energy. This is the way these energetics work in relationship. Now, if two people are embodying the same pole, there's no magnetism anymore. There's no polarity. So there's nothing that's creating that desire to entangle or to weave, and there's no magnetism. If your core essence as a woman is to be feminine and you're with a man that hasn't really done the energetic work and doesn't know how to hold that, it can feel like something's really off, like you can't fully express yourself because you're wanting to be beheld and claimed by your masculine counterpart. Now, this is not to put you in a space of victimhood. This is to put you in a space of empowerment to have the awareness around the energetics that are taking place so that you can start to explore this deeper, exploring what your feminine, if you're a core feminine being, actually really needs in a partnership. And then learning to give that to yourself, to start to work with these energies with yourself so that you can be a vibrational match to what you are desiring. And what you are desiring, if you drop into your womb and your heart, and if you can envision it and feel it, it's wanting you too. What you want wants you. And the reason why you can conceptualize it and feel it and romanticize about it is because it's a reality that's available to you. When you really, really feel into that reality that's available to you, like your juiciest reality that feels like a full fuck yes for you, right? It can feel very edgy because it requires you to go through this rebirth, this shedding, this death unto what was, to burn it all to ashes so that you can rise as this phoenix from those ashes into that desired timeline. And looking at this through the lens of relationship, that is what a breakup is. It is an initiation. And after the process of adjusting to the reality without that person, there comes this piece of the phoenix, of the rising, of feeling empowered, of calling all aspects of you back to self, of calling all of your energy and all of your soul pieces back, right? It's a soul retrieval. And then looking at the pieces, right? You're going to leave behind that which was no longer serving you and take the gold from that experience as the alchemist, as the love alchemist that you are. And I'll add some journal prompts at the end of this video for you to go a little bit deeper with this. So If in that relationship you wished he would have claimed you more, right? The feminine loves to be claimed and ravished in this way that feels, obviously it feels amazing, because for a core feminine essence being, we want to be taken by the masculine. We want to be led by the masculine, but a masculine that is in his heart, that is in integrity, that has clarity, that has direction, that has focus, right? And he knows you're a part of that bigger vision, and he expresses this to you. He makes it known to you, right? That is the kind of claiming that I am talking about. He penetrates you not only with his energy, but with his eyes, with his soul, right? He sees you. He sees you, and you feel that. And in that seeing, you are being witnessed. And in that witnessing, you are able to unfold in ways that you didn't even know you could. And this is part of your rose blossoming, right? Your rose is blossoming in the eye of the beholder, in the eye of God. We are all extensions of God. And our presence is such an activation, and especially for the feminine. So, my love, I invite you to really lean into how this situation was here to serve you, and the ways in which you now get to cultivate and integrate your own inner masculine, so that you can come online and have this king in your life leading you, witnessing you, and these polarities can work together, and you can get to know these inner aspects of yourself and marry them, right? So you become whole unto yourself, and you're attracting from that space. You know who you are. You know what your non-negotiables are. You've really sharpened your sword of discernment, right? Through the experiences, through the relationships. You've taken full ownership. You've reclaimed yourself and your essence. And if you want to go deeper into this aspect, right? Broken Open is for the women who are going through heartbreak. Like, you're in the heartbreak, you're in the initiation. That is Broken Open. I am now launching Rose Gold Alchemy 2, which is a process of reclaiming forbidden feminine archetypes to really be empowered in your feminine essence, in your divine feminine, and reclaiming the different archetypal energies that will allow you to feel fully empowered, fully alive, and turned on to life and to your mission and to your vision and to your essence as an extension and expression of God, of source, of the divine. Right? To fully embody that. I actually created Rose Gold Alchemy and launched it, and it was my first course ever, and it was extremely vulnerable. It was, if you have been through a course launch or your first course launch, it really requires you to lean into a lot of edges, and it's an extremely vulnerable and confronting experience. And I was going through my breakup through being in that live launch, which was a 3-month experience with 11 incredible women. And we were all in this quantum accelerator initiation together. And so Rose Gold Alchemy 2.0 is all of the 12 modules and transmissions from that real live initiation and experience. And it's also going to include 6 live calls, 3 of which I'm guest featuring incredible priestesses who have immaculate codes that relate to the archetype that we're exploring for that month. And then we're going to do 3 live Q&A calls, and you have the option to choose from different experiences. And like with everything, with my work and the women who come to work with me, feel into your fuck yes. If this feels like a fuck yes for you, if anything that I've just offered is, really lean into it, because that is a doorway to your next expansion of self. Feel into what feels right for you with all of this. What feels right for you? What container is going to support this next version of yourself that you are feeling called to step into, that maybe you left this relationship to step into, to honor, right? So I am honoring you in honoring yourself, in saying yes to yourself, in having the courage to dive deeper and to be the alchemist of your experience, so that you can live your legacy of love, and so that you can be all that you came here to be. It is such an honor to serve you and to support you in any way that I can. And yeah, happy alchemy. Mwah.